Hello everyone, what's up and welcome to another of my video. Today we are outside in my garden because I just finished a yoga session. Exactly, in this video we're gonna talk about yoga, how yoga changed my life, what is my journey, and why by the end of this video I think you should give it a go as well, and how it can transform your life. Now obviously my husband is a yoga teacher and he taught me so many things, so if you guys are more interested in technicalities and even to have private lesson on yoga, check the link down below that leads you directly to our other channel called ProTeam and Virginia, and also over there in the comments, not in the comment section, in the info box there is his email if you guys by the end of this video are interested in doing some lessons with him on Skype, or perhaps you want to have a pranayama session also that is taught in our courses, the 7-step vortex program. He's also writing a book about it, so that's pretty exciting. So with that being said, actually my journey to yoga starts before even meeting my husband. And in fact, let's start with this. I am a normal, very lazy person and girl. And definitely I was never interested in doing yoga. I was never interested in India. I was never interested in that sort of philosophy of spiritualism. Even if I studied philosophy at university, I was aware of Hinduism, Shaktism, and all the forms of yoga, but it's not something that really called me, and probably this is who you are as well. Because every time in the West we have this concept of yoga, either something very remote like the Agoris in India, or we see like yoga moms, or we see people doing yoga with hot pants and very expensive mat in a very expensive gym, and we're like, listen, I am an empath. I cannot take lesson around people. I feel really uncomfortable. Maybe I'm not confident about my body. Why would I do yoga? I don't even want to do gym most of the time. Well, if that is you, that was me as well. The only sports that I enjoyed was swimming because I could do it alone. As you guys know, I'm an empath, I'm a psychic. I do work alone, and that's where I find myself to give the most. Therefore, for me, staying around crowded places or stay even at the gym was very like, I was really making an effort, because especially when I was younger, I really had difficulties. Like, I just wanted to concentrate and have a nice physical activity and just go within. That is what I wanted to do. And obviously swimming provided me that. But swimming can be expensive. It can be a little bit of, it's beautiful, but you have to go to the gym, you have to wet your hair, you have to dry them, you have to, during winter, especially if you live in a place where winter gets really cold like I do, it's kind of an effort. And I didn't have the money, I was short on money, so I was like, I cannot do it anymore. And if you remember one of my oldest video where I was talking about physical appearance and how did I change my physical appearance and how did I manifest it, like people like to say, not because yoga is necessarily related to that, but it's just because I wanted to show you my journey. And all of us have a reason why we start some physical activity or we start a spiritual journey in a philosophy. And little disclaimer, I don't think that anyone should feel ashamed if you want to start yoga just to improve your body or your health. Then later on, probably the spiritual practice will take place. But with that disclaimer being said, just don't feel guilty about the way you are in your motivation, because ultimately it just doesn't matter. We are all aiming to the same goal. So I couldn't afford going to the swimming pool anymore, and obviously my body started transforming, started to become more lazy, and I just wasn't recognizing myself anymore. And I'm talking about like back in the days, like years and years ago, probably even 10 years ago. And so I was though very fascinated in philosophy and spirituality, and through my psychic abilities I started channeling this advice from angels, even through the cards. As you guys know, I do. For those of you who are new, that's what I do. And they would keep mentioning yoga, and I was like, nah, I really don't want to do it. Like, I just really don't want to do it. I don't see myself doing a headstand. I don't see myself doing a bridge pose. Like, what is this? No. But I was so limited in my own thinking, and this is one of the reasons why usually when you receive guidance from a psychic, from a spiritual teacher, from a healer, from any of the spiritual source, so let's call it that way, in this reality or the other, usually they tell you to open your mind, because our subjective perspective cannot understand all the infinite possibilities that you as a lifetime, as a human being, can have in bettering your life, bettering your body, bettering your mental health, and so on and so forth. So they were keep mentioning yoga over and over again, until one day I really just wanted to reconnect it to my well-being, because that is the prominent reason why I started yoga. Synchronistically speaking, I went in a shop and they were selling, like, for sale, a yoga mat that is still the one that I use today. Weird enough, it's this one, this blue one. And I was with my best friend. There is like the lightning coming up on my face, and I was with my best friend. I said, listen, I am just gonna try yoga. I tried each and every other single physical activity and I hated it. I felt like every time that I was doing gym, which I'm not criticizing if you love gym, but I felt like I was rushing. Like, yes, the adrenaline was rising, which could be also something pleasant, but at the same time I couldn't feel that peace within. I couldn't feel the deep connection with my body and with what I was doing and the physical reality around me, and that is what I think, even subconsciously, I was desperately seeking. So I took this very cheap yoga mat, and with the app, with YouTube, really, just like with a simple app. That's why you don't have to go through what I did through, because on YouTube you really found things that are yoga but they're not really yoga. But through some intelligent app, I started performing the most simple asanas and the yoga for beginners, really, because that it's one of the things that I think you should consider as well, and that really changed my life. It's to become less harsh with ourselves. Like, sometimes when we think about yoga or any physical activity, we think about hatha yoga, we think about asanas, we think about doing the most incredible thing and sweating, and we have to do our best, which it doesn't have to be that way, especially at the beginning. I mean, give yourself a break. You don't have to start like you are a yoga teacher yourself. So giving myself a break, I started to do yoga for beginners. So the most simple asanas and the most simple breathing techniques, which again are already explained in my e-course, actually ProTeam e-course, the 7-step vortex program, which is a perfect introduction to yoga and pranayama and the breathing techniques, because the breath is our lives, and we explained that many times in our oldest videos and in our channel. And through starting yoga, and I put myself a goal, I said, let's do yoga every day for only 20 minutes for 30 days, and let's see if my body changes. Let's see if I feel better about this. And after the first week of really simple and basic asanas are the posture of yoga, and the breathing technique, not knowing exactly what I was doing, just following an app, my reality changed, because through especially the breathing techniques, I realized that the breath can help me doing physical activity. The breath can help me connect with the environment around me, with the body within me. I don't have to like struggle and challenge myself, even though I could, and that is a choice, but I can also let go and relax. I can really go deeper within and understand that there is nowhere to go. There is only here to stay and witness. And through this understanding of the stillness, I started loving yoga. Because one of the things that probably a lot of you guys don't know about me is that I am a person that has a tendency to hypochondria, has a tendency to anxiety, like many empaths have, because we feel, you know, energies and information and especially emotion from all over the place. So yoga and this initial start of yoga, the initial practice of the breathing techniques through the physical activity that was very gentle at the beginning, allowed me to really lower my level of anxiety and my level of stress. And like I said before, understanding that I can allow myself to have 20 minutes of just pure stillness, 20 minutes of just I am here, but who am I? Am I really the body? Am I really the mind? And it is something that sure you can understand on a theoretical level, and many of us are really great, especially in the new age community, see all these people talking, perhaps maybe never been to India. Because another thing is that yoga cannot be really separated from India. At least let's not try to colonize the gift of India to the world. Let's try to give that beautiful country credit. There isn't a Western concept of yoga. Yoga is from India, and we're gonna arrive to that in a second. So through the understanding of this point of stillness, I realized that I can do this too. I realized I can connect to my well-being in a way that is perhaps different from what other people have taught me. Because I felt, especially as a young girl and as a young Western girl with all this YouTube and social media, I felt really pressurized to have a certain type of body without even respecting how my body is, which I think it's something that a lot of us have, especially in the youngest generation. We see influencers, we see YouTube stars and celebrities, and we think we have to weigh a certain amount of pounds. We have to have that body. But here's the thing, through connecting to my own self, I realized no, the only thing that will actually make me beautiful, it's who I am from within. The only thing that will actually make me feel good, it's to be healthy. Because at the end of the day, when we connect, because yoga means union with what? Union with yourself first, union with the divine, and union with all that is. And usually it should be in the sense of union with the divine, that should be the goal, union with yourself, and union with others. And when you understand to the breathing techniques, because like I said before, breath is life, that you are having, that's what I wanted to say before, sorry, because I lost my train of thought a little bit. When you understand, because you're actually performing a physical activity, you're actually performing a spiritual practice, when you are experiencing that within your body, it doesn't become anymore a theoretical thing. It becomes an experience that nobody can take away from you. And when something becomes an internal experience nobody can steal, you become more powerful, it becomes stronger, it becomes a belief that is sustainable in the long term, and possibly a healthy beliefs. So that is was just to connect the fact that many in the new age and never been to India, never really experienced yoga. They have experienced some form of meditation here and there, which is, there is nothing wrong. But if they only will jump into something that it's even more physical, that will allow them in 20 minutes of their daily life, even 10 minutes, to experience the vastness of the universe within their self, possibly the world will be a better place. And if you want to see this on a more mundane perspective, connected with your unhealthy body first, lower your level of stress and anxiety. Stress is one of the prominent reasons why, guys, we develop some form of mental disorders, some form of physical disorders, and definitely lower, especially in such a frenetic life, lower our level of stress is deeply important. Understand that we don't have to be binge eaters, we don't have to be binge consumers, but through this level of stillness and experience, we can be joyful by having nothing. And that is one of the things that really has transformed my life. I can just stay here in my garden under the sun and doing my asanas, and after that having a really deep meditation in the silence, without music, without any guidance, and just to connect to myself and to all that is around me, and I feel a deep sense of joy, a deep sense of liberation, a deep sense of I don't have to be physically, mentally, or emotionally how other people want me to be. As long as I'm not hurting anyone, as long as I am helping others when I can be myself. And this is one of the prominent reasons why I think you should start yoga as well. First of all, be selfish, just for you, for reconnecting yourself to your physical well-being, reconnecting yourself to your mental well-being and emotional well-being. Not mentioning the advantage that you can have on a physical perspective, and ProTeam is the right person that will explain you everything around that. I'm so sorry, I'm not that technical. And obviously, when you are going to a arrive to the level, or maybe you already are, it really depends on who you are, of the spiritual journey that yoga can serve, well, obviously it goes without saying the yoga is a lifetime practice. Even I feel gurus and enlightened masters, for them is a lifetime practice. It's a deep practice that will make you discover, apart from the fact, an amazing culture, which is India, a culture that is being colonized and still nowadays in the New Age community, in my opinion, doesn't have much credit. But if you go deeper into that beautiful philosophy of Hinduism, and especially the Vedas, the Upanishad, from where yoga comes from, you will really tap into a greater knowledge in regards to science, even, and to the universe. And if you guys are Indian and you want to add to this conversation, please comment down below, because I am sure I am a beginner and I don't know as much as you know. So please, even if I mistake some of the terminology, or I mistake some of the legends and the myth of the gods and the goddesses, please comment down below. You're giving such a huge contribution to this channel and to the people that are listening to these videos. So through the understanding also, and open your mind to a different culture, it's almost like you are uniting the East and the West. You are uniting yourself, your feminine and masculine energy. You are uniting all there is within you. And if you're watching this video by the time that I'm posting it, you know for a fact that now you have the possibilities to make this union within yourself. And obviously, when we're talking about spiritual journeys, now I'm not saying that yoga has to be for everybody, but yoga really allows you to be to arrive to spiritual awareness in a fast, grounded, and experiential way. More than just sitting in a meditation, more than listening to millions of documentaries on Gaia, because you're actually performing for yourself a spiritual practice, a spiritual journey. And you know, I was a very skeptical person, even with my own gift, and through yoga, like I said before, my beliefs transmute not only in a belief system. I don't necessarily have to believe in angels. I don't have to necessarily believe in spirits or energy. I felt it. Therefore, nobody can take away that knowledge from me, because it was an experiential knowledge. Then again, on a more mundane perspective, yoga really transformed my life and helped me understand how my body is reacting. Coming from a person that has or had a very strong hypochondria, very strong anxiety, practicing yoga allowed me to observe my body, and therefore not freaking out at every symptom, but understanding, okay, I am short of breath. Why? Because I feel emotionally, physically like this and that. It helped me listen to my body. When you listen to your body, your whole reality gets better, because you don't have to follow necessarily what somebody says about you, but you're like, no, okay, I feel tired, so therefore I'm not going to push myself, because I know my limits, I know my body. And this is something that I feel as a modern society we have completely neglected. Listening to our bodies and knowing our limits, being aware responsibly about who we are. Yoga teaches me how to be responsible with others, with myself, with my body, with my emotion, with my mind. And it's such a journey that I feel it gets so transcendental that you cannot possibly explain it in just one single video, because there are so many little bits and bobs here and there that are probably I'm missing about how yoga really transformed my life. And on a more shallow level, yoga allowed me to appreciate my body for my own way, for my own curves, allow me to connect to everything in a way where if I'm eating an apple or I'm eating a pasta or whatever I'm eating, I'm questioning myself on where this thing comes from. And if I am eating an apple is becoming me. So how grateful I am for this moment right now. And therefore understanding that whatever I wear comes from somewhere, and somebody has made it for me, not only make me become more grateful about everything that I'm experiencing, but also allow me to make more conscious choices and think about it. I am not saying that you have to do certain things, like many in the New Age will say you have to think in this way, you have to buy that thing, you have to do this. No. But if you connect with yourself from within, these questions will become automatically, because yoga means union, will become automatically within you. And through questioning yourself on your own without having an external person telling you what to think, you will arrive to certain conclusion, personal perhaps conclusion, but you will arrive to certain conclusion that will better your life and the life of others automatically. And imagine what world that will be if we will open to this connection again, not on a mind perspective, but on an experiential perspective. Because last thing that I want to say about yoga and how it transformed my life, it made me really realize that we can talk about things for so many hours, but at the end of the day, some things can only be experienced. And the realm of spirit is an experience. It cannot be translated by any mind, and it cannot be translated by any words, because it's beyond that. It's beyond emotion, it's beyond the mind, it's beyond the body. And it's absurd how when you align yourself to the energies of the universe, through the asanas, through the breathing techniques, because you are practicing almost a sacred geometry, the geometry of your body, as above so below, with the geometry of the universe, you tap into something that is above all of that. And that is why yoga has transformed my life, and this is been practically in 20 minutes my journey. It goes without saying, you guys, if you want to start yoga, I have the 7-step vortex program down below, my channel with ProTeam, and if you send in my email, you can really schedule a session with him if you guys are interested, and he will show you all the right asanas and how he made me started. Because funny enough, I wasn't interested in yoga, I wasn't interested in India, and I just wanted to be alone, and I ended up loving India, loving yoga, and finding even a husband that teach me the proper yoga, because he's been studying yoga for 15 years in a very classical and traditional level. Then he took these yoga teacher diploma from Shri Ravi Shankar ashram, and then he taught me so many things that I didn't know, even about posture and alignment, because sometimes when you do yoga by your own, you don't really understand that you're not putting the feet in the right position, you're not aligned. And here it goes back to the understanding of what it is truly alignment, because alignment is a word that is being spread a lot in the new age community, but do we really know what alignment means? And by the way, we have a video here on this channel talking about, I think, awakening your psychic ability, where it shows practically how to find alignment with a super easy pose, which is just a standing asana. Please watch the video. We recorded it in India, and that will give you a practical exercise, super easy, that everybody can do on what it is to experience alignment. And when you find alignment through your body, mind, and soul, you do find the doorway to the realm of spirits. Now, also what I want to say about yoga, which I have a bit of a note written down on my phone, I want to say that yoga is a path for everybody, because it's not just one single practice. Yoga has at least 8 types of yoga. In fact, we see that the 8 types, and even more than just that, but the 8 types of most popular yoga are Hatha yoga, which is obviously the one with asanas and physical activity. I'm going to read it for you guys. Hatha yoga is a standard term that includes most yoga styles that combine breath work with physical posture. The term is broadly used, but typically involves a gentle introduction to basic yoga, which is what I started. So Hatha yoga is the one that introduces the physical activity the most, and is the one prominently based on the asanas. Then we have Vinyasa style. The Vinyasa style combines rhythm breathing techniques with a series of flowing postures, and Shupra has his own perspective on Vinyasa yoga, so again, I probably will do a video with him. Then there is Ashtanga yoga, Iyengar yoga, Kundalini yoga, Bikram yoga. There are so many types of yoga, and I think I should do a separate video, since this is more of a blog and a conversation about the many types of yoga. And also, you can find your own personal style, because following Hatha yoga doesn't mean that you cannot do meditation afterwards, and it doesn't mean that you cannot do pranayama afterwards. Everybody can costume their own way of doing yoga, listening to their bodies, and therefore attuning to the real self. And at the end of the day, what is life if not an experience? And what is life if not ultimately the goal of remembering who we are and aligning ourselves to what is beyond the physical experience? And I really think that yoga can allow us to do that. So that has been my journey. I hope this video was informative for all of you guys. If you guys want to know more about this entire subject, keep in mind to check our 7-step vortex program and our other channel, ProTeam Virginia, and all our oldest videos when Shupra talks about yoga, because it's so much better than just me explaining. This was only my journey coming from a perspective of a very, very lazy girl, and I hope you guys appreciated this video. In the meantime, keep in mind, you're never wrong if you follow love, and see you on the next one.